Happy New Year to you all from all of us on Sports Scene. We begin 1992. That's where we spent most of 1991, at the very heart of the action. In this case, Celtic Park in Glasgow. The first Old Firm meeting to be played on New Year's Day itself for 6 years. And a game, as always, with so much at stake. Rangers want to win to keep the pressure on Hearts at the top of the Premier table. Celtic really need to win today if they are to harbour any hopes of winning this season's championship. But then again, motivation is never a problem in this game. The real difficulty for the players today, I would imagine, will be in coping with these very difficult conditions. Driving rain and a strong swirling wind. The atmosphere, as you would expect, is completely electric. Jock Brown looks first at the two team lineups.
Two men in that Celtic lineup are sampling this special Old Firm atmosphere for the first time. Tony Mowbray playing only his 4th game for the club, and goalkeeper Gordon Marshall his 7th. Young Brian O'Neill drops out to make way for Mike Galloway, who's free of suspension, but there's no Gary Gillespie, he's not fit, nor is Charlie Nicholas. So Tony Cascarino comes in, having scored not only the equaliser at Pittodrie on Saturday, but also the goal which gave Celtic a point in the last Old Firm game in November. The Soviet internationals Oleg Kuznetsov and Alexei Mikhailchenko are starting an Old Firm game for the first time, although they've been on the bench before. But for Dale Gordon, it's a brand new experience. They're all in a full-strength Rangers team, with Nigel Spackman fully recovered from a calf injury and Mark Hateley free of a flu virus. He's already enjoyed Old Firm success this season with the 2 goals which beat Celtic here in August, contributing to a total of 13 goals so far this season. And the man in charge this afternoon could scarcely be more experienced. World Cup referee George Smith from Edinburgh handling his 10th Old Firm match. A 51,000 capacity crowd to watch what may well turn out to be a crucial match in the league season. Neither side can afford to contemplate anything other than victory, particularly Celtic, I reckon, with the deficit in the league behind Hearts and Rangers. And there's a very hefty collision early on, Cascarino and Kuznetsov. It's a free kick against the Republic of Ireland striker. Oleg Kuznetsov rode the challenge well enough though, he's back on his feet. It's a tense opening moments on a sodden surface here at Celtic Park. The ground staff have worked all morning to take water off the surface. It will cut up very quickly indeed, and may well have a bearing on the way the game is played. There's Mike Galloway back in the side after suspension. Now Peter Grant. Collins playing it forward. There's Cascarino tackled by Stephen. There's all hectic stuff early on as Collins tries to break. Well, Mikhailchenko made the challenge on Collins, which upset the Celtic supporters. Collins looking sharp and alert on the left side of the Celtic midfield. Coyne beaten to the high ball by Goff. That's good play by Galloway, stepping away from Mikhailchenko. The early cross, looking there for Collins. There's Cascarino on the turn, closely marked by Kuznetsov. Got it quite challenging fiercely. Spackman got the ball away, in goes Galloway, beaten the ball by Robertson. And on the break, Mikhailchenko finds McCoy. This is Gordon, great play from Rangers. McCoy still free on the right, this is the chance for Rangers. A magnificent counter-attack there from Rangers, and McCoy's coming so close to the opening goal. With the pass from Mikhailchenko set it up, then Dale Gordon was released by McCoy. That was the return pass. Now look at McCoy, he's taking time here to try to chip the ball beyond Gordon Marshall, and it just slides wide of the post. Now Dale Gordon appearing in a central position there, causing problems for Celtic. There's Dale Gordon again, tackled firmly by White. To the middle it goes from McCall. Hateley's layoff, picked up by McCoy. So it's a deadly striking duo. There's Hateley! And the menace is clear from Rangers right from the start. Their 34-goal strike force of McCoy's and Hateley combining here. Hateley's layoff with a header. McCoy's returning this. You see Marshall commits himself, comes to this. He's no real chance of getting there before Hateley. And the English international is very disappointed. He couldn't keep that under the bar. Here's Derek White. Now Mowbray. Coyne signals for the ball through the inside left channel. Delivered well by Mowbray. Ball skidding away there from both Grant and McCall, who are in direct opposition in midfield. Headed by Stevens. Here's McStay. Oh, trying that deft pass through for Tommy Coyne. Very awkward long clearance that. McCoy says onto that with McNally timing his challenge extremely well. That long kick out from Gorham causing a lot of problems. McNally remaining very calm for one so young. Karichenko lining up the in-swing at the test. Gordon Marshall in goal. It's away and Mowbray and Marshall on the line. Well, it's almost a year to the day since Mark Walters scored the Rex corner kick for Rangers. This time Gordon Marshall did well, beating that out. And then Tony Mowbray was confident enough to turn that back to the keeper, who only just kept it out. Cascarino towards Coyne. The cover provided there brilliantly by Robertson. Developing into a top-class fullback, David Robertson. Mowbray's in trouble. Here's Haitley. This is McCoy's with a chance. Blocked on the line. That appeared to be handball by McNally. The referee saw nothing wrong with that. McCoy's can't believe it. There's no penalty kick for Rangers. Here was McCoy's playing it in. It appeared to strike the hand of McNally, but accidentally in the view of the referee. And what a let-off that is for Celtic. Referee George Smith waving that on. Still no scoring, and once again Rangers coming close. Let off there not only for Mark McNally with that ball striking his right hand, but also for Tony Mowbray, who misjudged the bounce of an upward ball. Oh, he hated he set up McCoist. Gordon eased off that by McStay's strength. Gordon did just enough though to get the ball back to Stevens. Well, tackling getting tougher all the time. Paul McStay took a face knock there, accidentally I'm sure. Here's Chris Morris. Lay off from Coyne. There's Galloway taking on Robertson, but that's very difficult because Robertson is so quick on the recovery. Here's Paul McStay assessing all the options, using Collins. Now Morris. And the first time effort from Cascarino. Well, he was off balance, found space away from his marker there, Tony Cascarino, but couldn't set himself for a shot at goal. Here's Chris Morris now advancing from an orthodox right back position to which he's moved in the last few minutes. The ball slanted in there, and there was Cascarino sending it over. They miscued the header. Here's McStay winning that from Spackman, a chance on for Celtic. McStay playing it wide, and the first time effort came from Tommy Coyne, trying to angle that beyond Andy Gorham. McStay doing well, winning the challenge in the air with Spackman to take possession and come striding forward. Doing a wide of Richard Gough, setting it up for Coyne. Rather pulled the shot though. Well, McStay very influential now for Celtic. Here he is again. Tackled well by McCall. McCoist. Karichenko. McCoist again, taking on McNally. Well, Ali McCoist certainly has a preference for those chip shots now from around the penalty box. This wasn't far away either. He just eased himself wide there of McNally. Tried to chip that toward the top corner. Marshall was anxious for a second. Galloway and Karichenko in a clash again. There's David Robertson. Space for McCall. That was intended for Dale Gordon. Breaks for McStay. Forward it goes to Coyne. David Robertson is quick enough though. Well, Celtic certainly warming to the task now after a very hesitant start. Put across by Galloway. John Collins was in across the bows of Gary Stevens. That was undoubtedly a chance. Collins getting into the penalty box as he's done so well this season for Celtic. Coming across in front of Gary Stevens. And he's disappointed with the lack of accuracy in the finish. Reminiscent of the goal he scored for Scotland against Bulgaria at Hampden. Headed on there by White. There's Coyne. Galloway on the run, followed by Mikhalichenko. Castillo leaves that to Collins. Back it comes to Paul McStay. That was well struck. It'll be a corner kick to Celtic. This is a very good spell for Celtic. Inspired by McStay. Collins setting this up. McStay keeping the shot down. McSpackman was in the way. There's McCoy to the layoff, looking for McCall. McStay reacts quickly for Celtic. Good running here by Peter Grant. Through the gap it goes to Cascarino. It's a great move from Celtic. That was superb play from Celtic. And work done by Paul McStay initially, and then a riding play here, Peter Grant, with a beautiful pass into the path of Cascarino. He took that to his better side, the left, to angle the shot away from Gorham and the far post. Cascarino getting up there with Kuznetsov. There's Collins. Headed away by Robertson. McCall's clearance goes straight to White. McNally, I think, will use Gordon Marshall. Galloway and Robertson in a race. Just look at the pace here of Robertson. That's great goalkeeping by Gorham as Galloway went sliding in. Well, the ball certainly was there to attack. Robertson's pass back was too short. There's Galloway going in. Gorham would have expected no other challenge, I'm sure, than that. And Galloway is in trouble. He's just back from a 3-match suspension, Galloway. It really was some very good goalkeeping by Andy Gorham. David Robertson having shown that incredible ton of pace, but then just a shade casual with the pass back. Gorham is all right. Derek White makes himself available on the left. And the player backtracking there was Ali McCoy for Rangers. Back helping his defence. He's conceded a corner kick. Coyne goes to the near post. Hastily getting that ahead of Mowbray. That's beautiful play there from McStay, but Stuart McCall read it well. Rangers now in the break. Hastily picks out McCoy on the right. Stevens goes racing on the outside. Mikhalichenko, that's now for Stevens. Cross goes Peter Grant. Well determined work there by Grant. Cascarino and Kuznetsov clash. It's a free kick taken quickly by Celtic. Too quickly again. Referee George Smith never too happy with those instantly taken free kicks. Unless he's satisfied that the ball was stationary. Cut off by Stuart McCall. And Mowbray goes in. Well, you'd hardly call that late. It was almost posthumous. It was a very, very reckless challenge by Mowbray. Haitley was well away from him. The yellow card is shown. Mowbray offers no complaints and Haitley is recovered. Haitley, as always, a likely target. There he goes. In goes Derek White. Stevens returning it, Mowbray underneath that. Bumped away by White. Well judged by Goff in the air, but he couldn't direct that header accurately. Galloway wins it. And McStay again, offering some delightful close footwork for Celtic. Setting up another fine attack. Here's Coyne. And that was just about 6 inches away from Tony Cascarino. The danger not over for the Rangers defence. Here's John Collins. McStay again. Into space it goes for Chris Morris. And it's Andy Gorham to Rangers rescue. That was handball against Morris. Well, Gorham performing heroics there for Rangers. And it's Paul McStay who set this up again with a pass into the path of Chris Morris. He did it well enough, but Gorham's positioning was good and his reactions were excellent. Well, what a chance it was there for Chris Morris, but really it's Paul McStay who is carving up this Rangers defence. He set up that great attack a moment ago with Tommy Coyne's cross right across the 6-yard box. Tony Cascarino going flying in just out of reach. So it's that vital phase just before the half-time whistle. Nick Martin there on his feet in the Celtic dugout. Both sides would be devastated to lose anything at this point in the first half. Cascarino's header. There's Peter Grant turning straight into Spackman, who's strong enough to get through White. Here's Dale Gold. This is a good chance for Rangers right on the half-time whistle. Cross to Hadley. Here's McCoist. It's first blood to Rangers right on the half-time whistle. And jubilation among these Rangers fans. It looked inevitable that half-time would come with no scoring. But McCoist gets his 22nd goal of the season. Set up here by Dale Gordon initially. And then Hadley sent over this very good ball, a dangerous one. Marshall was off balance. And sliding in was McCoist. Well, here was Dale Gordon. This is a treacherous ball played across. Hadley kept it into the danger area. McCoist on his own, appeals there for offside, but McCoist is on the run, so the goal stands, and it's a body blow to Celtic right on the half-time whistle. We're into injury time in the first half. So the ball lost in the middle of the field there by Celtic. They'll be ruining that moment. Nigel Spackman won possession inside the centre circle, and Celtic had the ball, and they paid dearly for that error with the opening goal for McCoist. And half-time whistle goes. It's been hectic, relentless action throughout the first half. Ali McCoist had a couple of great chances early on and failed to score. He had one blocked on the line by Mark McNally, which struck his hand, although I thought the referee was right in not giving a penalty kick. But then right on half-time, Dale Gordon setting up Mark Hadley for that awkward ball across into the 6-yard box. The deadly finishing power of Ali McCoist at half-time at Celtic Park. It's Celtic 0, Rangers 1. So Rangers prepare to start the second half. They have 7 players in the side who cost £1 million or more. And some of the football they offered in that first half certainly was worthy of the expenditure. But for Celtic it was a major body blow right on half-time, when they seem to have fought their way back into the match after a very uncertain start. But they've always been vulnerable to the sharpness and the quick play of McCoist and Hadley up front, supported in the flanks by Dale Gordon and Alexei Karichenko. So for Celtic it's a very tough second half task. They came from 2 behind at Pittodrie on Saturday, and they're going to have to come from behind again this afternoon. They cannot afford to lose any further ground in the league race. Here's McCoist. Fine pass inside by Stevens. There's Gordon. Hadley to McCoist again. Good play from Rangers. Karichenko has space on the left. Spackman behind. There's McCoist. And White's header. Laid back there to Neil Gordon, and that's a great save by Gordon Marshall. And Dale Gordon is such a magnificent striker of the ball in this position. He goes on to this, hits it very powerfully indeed, and that's a wonderful save by Marshall. Gordon Marshall will certainly be greatly encouraged by that excellent save he had from Dale Gordon. Helped on by Cascarino. Goff goes in with a header to get the ball away from Coyne, who retrieves quickly now for Celtic. Derek White, here's Collins, well tackled by Goff. A very timely challenge that by the Rangers captain. Collins making that very quick turn inside the box, matched by Goff. Galloway's corner driven in, and a bulleted header from Tony Mowbray. Celtic's equaliser scored by Mowbray. We're just 5 minutes into the second half. And this driven corner kick from Galloway, finding his way through to Tony Mowbray on the run. Got in there ahead of Haitley. And that's a magnificent header. Well, what an equaliser. Mowbray getting across in front of Haitley, who wouldn't be too happy with his marking. But Mowbray gets his second goal in 2 matches. And a vital one once again. Well, it's a time in the match, I think, for both sides to stop and think and work out how they're going to handle the rest of the match. The frenetic activity cannot be sustained at this level right to the end. It'll be down to these central midfield players, I think, like Paul McStay and Peter Grant for Celtic, Stuart McCall and Nigel Spackman for Rangers, to guide their teams. The interception made by Collins. That's cut off by Spackman. Here's Dale Gordon. That was intended for McCoist. Here's Mikhalichenko. Down he goes. The referee thought for a second there about a penalty. Waved aside the appeals. Derek White made the tackle. It was played wide there by Dale Gordon. There's Mikhalichenko. And he went down rather dramatically, perhaps too dramatically, as White came in with a tackle. Stay is ready to resume. The referee is not prepared to let him back on while there are signs of blood in his face like that. That's in accordance with FIFA regulations. A player with signs of blood shouldn't be allowed on the field. They'll have to plaster that up, I think. They'll have to take that jersey off because it's bloodstained. It's explained there by referee Smith to Liam Brady. Headed away by McCall. There's McCoist. McCall again. Cut up by McNally. Grant thumps the ball forward, but only Cascarino's in that area of the field for Celtic, and he's beaten to the ball by Goff. Well, the referee's still not happy. Well, I think the doctor may require to come involved inside. With Celtic with just the 10 men, and Tommy Coyne has been withdrawn into midfield, leaving only Tony Cascarino up front. That's why they're so thin on the ground when the ball goes forward. Here's Dale Gordon. Back with McCall. Not a bad snapshot from the edge of the penalty area. McCall has scored 3 times in his Rangers career. Twice in Europe, once only in the league. And as that ball was deflected into his path, he had only one thought in mind. Hit it cleanly enough, but well wide of the target. So the midway point in the second half, 1 goal apiece. Celtic continuing with only 10 men. McCoy tries to break away from McNally. McNally's going to be in trouble here, bringing down McCoist. Well, the Celtic young defender has had a fine match against one of the top strikers in the country. But on that occasion, got caught out here as he went down. He made certain that McCoist couldn't get a free run at the ball. Pulled him down there by the ankle. So it's a yellow card for McNally. McCall goes off and Brown goes on. Well, Brown passes on the instructions, but it looks as though he's going into a left central midfield position, as McStay reappears on the touchline with that face damage all plastered up. There's no sign of blood now. There could be no objection surely to McStay coming back on. So Celtic restore to their full complement of 11 players. Mowbray's free kick. Cascarino, he got up well to that. Got him on the right spot on his goal line to collect the header. He made it look easy, in fact, and he got him. But Cascarino gets up so well to this. It's across his marker, downward header. That came off the head of Stevens. John Brown lofts it forward. Good header that, giving a chance for Stevens, and the ball back inside. Mowbray beats Haitley in the air. Stevens again. He's found a way through the gap. The great ball inside, and saved by Gordon Marshall from Hofstra. And that must be a candidate for save of the season. Amazing reflexes there by Gordon Marshall. This ball played in superbly by Gary Stevens. Hofstra popped up on his own, and a point-blank save made by Marshall. Well, he could have earned something for Celtic this afternoon with that save. Spackman using Kuznetsov. Here's Haitley. Well tackled. Both kept in play there by Collins. Mowbray doing a fine job on Haitley. Cascarino retaining possession well. Brown picks up the loose ball in midfield though. That's for McCoy. Marshall is committed. And McCoy can't get up, and the referee's given a penalty. Gordon Marshall penalised for holding on to McCoy's legs. The keeper goes to argue the point. We'll see it from here though. The ball played through by John Brown. There was McCoist. Marshall came to meet him. He couldn't keep his hands on the ball though. Now as McCoist got up, there was Gordon Marshall lying there holding on to McCoist. Well, it's a very tight decision, and you have to have some sympathy, I reckon, for the Celtic goalkeeper. Certainly with an ungainly fall, they rolled on the ground together. The result is a penalty kick, though, to Rangers, and a booking for Gordon Marshall. So it's Haitley against Marshall. Beautifully taken penalty kick. Rangers are back in front, and Haitley gets his 14th goal of the season. Well, the Celtic players harbouring a sense of injustice about all that, but Haitley took that with real composure. Marshall certainly went the right way, made a very good effort, but the pace of the ball beat him. There's Craney setting it up for Galloway. Queuing up in the middle for this. Here's Collins setting it up for Paul McStay. It's a great effort by McStay, and the save from Andy Gordon denies the Celtic captain. Set up here by John Collins for Paul McStay. He set himself for the shot, and Gordon brought up yet another magnificent save. Galloway sending in the long ball towards Cascarino. He's well beaten by Stevens, and Spackman out of the centre set up something on the break for Rangers. Haitley on the right, holding the play up for Stevens. Spackman again. John Brown's in the middle. Hofstra on the left. McCoy's in the inside right position. Here's Brown going all the way himself. That settles it! John Brown ends the match in a contest with that rifling left-foot shot. And a very unlikely scoreline results from that recent spell of activity in front of Andy Gordon. So John Brown appearing there for only his second goal of the season. Well, 1 minute into injury time, the Celtic defence backed off on them, marking McCoist and Hofstra, and that shot hit with fine accuracy and power by John Brown. He's so deadly on that left foot, given far too much space by the Celtic defence, and Marshall couldn't reach it. But there's no more time. The whistle brings to an end an amazing match. Harry McCoy is involved in the thick of it. He's first to applaud Andy Gorham for his contribution to the Rangers' effort. Tony Mowbray appearing early in the second half with that powerful header to put Celtic right back in the match. But then it was that controversial penalty kick given when Ali McCoy was brought down by Gordon Marshall, which allowed Mark Hateley to score the second goal. So Rangers go marching on in the title race. For Celtic though, the gap now surely is too great. It's Celtic 1, Rangers 3.
Ali, among Old Firm matches, how would you rate that one?
Very enjoyable to play in, Jock. I think it's one of the few games I've played in, Old Firm games, there was quite a lot of football played, and it's always easy to say that when you come out in the winning side, but it was very enjoyable to play in.
You had a couple of chances very early in the match. Do you think maybe you had lost an opportunity to take the lead at that stage?
No, we always fancy ourselves to create a few chances today, and it was the case. First 5 minutes had a couple, Mark had a header, we're a little bit disappointed we didn't score early on, but we knew if we kept plugging away we were going to get chances against the Celtic defence, which was certainly the way it worked out. Scoring
just before half-time must have been a major boost for you. What are you thinking at that time of getting in at half-time all square, or were you still looking for a goal?
No, you're always looking for a goal. I must admit, I had a sneak look up at the clock, and I think it was only a couple of minutes to go, and it certainly looked as though we were going in nothing each, but the chance came along, and fortunately enough, in the back of the net.
What about the strategy of the second halves on that penalty incident which you were involved in again? How do you see that? How do you recall it?
I certainly thought it was a penalty, Jock, there's no doubt about that. I think Big Gordon just prevented me from getting up the second time. We both went for the ball for the first, from John Brown's through ball. The ball broke free and I went to go up for it again. I think he did impede me in getting up. I definitely thought it was a penalty. But then I don't think, with all due respect, they could have many complaints, because I thought the one in the first half was a penalty as well with a handball. So well, they tend to level themselves out.
Controversial moment as well, about there's some argument about that in the BBC camp, I can tell you.
There always will be.
But you then had, of course, a victory out of a game which looked as though at that stage you may be struggling.
Yeah, you're right. When we lost the first goal to Celtic, which was a good goal, I think it was Tony Mowbray header, we were under P a little bit, and we knew that we had to stick together and make it solid for the next 5-10 minutes, which we did do. And then slowly but surely we get back into the game, and as you say, we got the break.
I take it you were definitely injured when you didn't take the penalty yourself.
That's right, Big Marco Tay. If there's any way I could get up, I would have got up and taken it. It's maybe just as well with hindsight.
How important is that victory, you think, for Rangers now in the league race?
Vitally important. Puts us in the top of the league. It's a great result for us. It's never easy coming here. Old Firm games are typical. You can throw the form book out the window. It was a great game for us to win. We came here, we won, and I think the rest of the Premier League will set up and take notice tonight.
Well, Ali McCoy's understandably happy enough, but I wonder, Jock, if you're a Celtic fan, if you don't feel a little bit hard done by tonight.
I think there's no doubt about that. You would feel very upset. Although in the opening 5-10 minutes, Ali McCoy said it was all Rangers. But then Paul McStay took over, and that was some performance in the first half in particular from him. I thought it was a virtuoso performance. For about half an hour in the first half, it was top-class midfield play, and really should have done more for Celtic than it finished up doing. Yes, I think they'll be very upset, the Celtic supporters.
Now, the turning point, I would imagine, must be the penalty incident which led to Rangers' second goal. We can see that now, in fact, as we look back at all three goals, Jock, and I suppose there was something to say about all of them. The first of them came at a point, I suppose, when Celtic were really getting on top of things, weren't they?
Well, Peter Grant will be very upset about that. He lost it very easily to Nigel Spackman, and Derek White also was very slack with a tackle on Spackman. From this point, the Celtic defence has stretched. They've lost White, they've lost Grant. There's no offside there. There was an appeal you'll see from Mark McNally, but he was in fact the player who played McCoy still when he scored that. That's McCoy at his best, obviously. Just on half time, though, what a time.
And then early in the second half, I think Mark Hateley perhaps is the man who gets lost somehow as Mowbray comes in to power that header into the net.
I'm always intrigued about forwards being asked to do important defensive jobs. That was a mistake that undoubtedly by Hateley.
And this, the clinching goal.
Well, I wondered if Tony Mowbray had realised how good Brown was with his left foot, he may have forced him to go on the right. He let him go on the left side, and he scored very effectively, yes.
It was a game full of incident, wasn't it, John? I mean, we could talk about it all night, probably, but the two goalkeepers in particular can be well pleased with a couple of the saves they made.
There's no question about it at all. In fact, Andy Gorham had a couple of good saves early on, but this one, I think, is unbelievable. This save from Gordon Marshall. He kept his eye on the ball all the time from Housestritt's header. Reflexes were terrific. It was an amazing save.
And this equally as good from the shot from Paul McStay.
At this point it's 2-1 with about 5 minutes left. The pass slightly short from McStay, but what a great shot it was, and the wrong hand, the left hand to save that, which was terrific again, a part of Gorham, yes.
Two very controversial penalty incidents, one early on and one for the second Rangers goal. The first one, well, I thought this was a penalty.
Well, I'll have to disagree with you on that. I think this shows that when the shot goes in, McNally blocks it with his leg, it comes up on his left hand. Certainly saw his left hand, there's no doubt about that. There's no way in my view that was deliberate. I know you don't think the
I
same,
think it was, and I think sadly it might have been unfair. It would have meant McNally being sent off had the referee given it.
Yes.
This is the McCoist incident, and the ball goes free, and there, I think that has to be a penalty kick.
This time we're in agreement, I'm afraid. The first time I saw that from the naked eye in the gantry, I thought it was a penalty. I then looked at it again and began to wonder, but now I'm really convinced it was a penalty. Gordon Marshall had the ball in his hands, actually. It seemed to spill out, and I think that was part of the frustration as he rolled over on McCoist to make sure he wouldn't get up quickly. Why he did it, I don't know. McCoist is going to a safe area, really, towards the byline, but I think technically a penalty.
2 invaluable points for Rangers.